A diplomat is somebody who thinks 10 times before saying nothing.
Welcome to Eurovision.
There isn't anybody who comes up to you and talks about Eurovision who big smile doesn't come across their face.
I can't choose one word, that's too hard.
Eurovision makes miracles happen.
It's unity.
Being here feels euphoric.
Big party atmosphere and having a good time. It's a celebration.
The mood is incredible. People of Liverpool are so friendly. The atmosphere is such a vibe. It's like a Commonwealth Games or a Mardi Gras or a Pride celebration all rolled into one.
Eurovision in Liverpool is just fabulous.
Eurovision didn't change Liverpool. Liverpool changed Eurovision.
The winner is Ukraine!
If you are Eurovision fans, you'll be very pleased to hear that the 2023 Eurovision Song Contest will be hosted in the UK next year on behalf of Ukraine.
Liverpool!
Congratulations! 243 points! We have a winner! Sweden! You have won the Eurovision Song Contest!
We have this chance to have the Eurovision in Ukraine. And we believed that despite all the challenges the war is posing, we still can manage to have it peacefully in Ukraine. You can imagine that we've been a bit frustrated when we understood that we won't have it this time.
It wasn't safe to invite a lot of people and guests from all over Europe and all over the world. So I think it was kind of a logical decision to offer this option to another country. At that point, it was UK.
There was heaps and heaps of interest across the UK in hosting Eurovision. And if you remember, we were doing it at pretty short notice, and we had a really high requirement to be the host city.
It was kind of a no-brainer for Liverpool to compete. For us not to would have just been ridiculous. Everything that we've learned over the last 20 years on how to put on major events, they were like second nature to us.
If you think back, in hindsight, it's almost obvious, of course it was Liverpool, right? But at the time, we were massive underdogs.
There's a couple of things that we're really good at in Liverpool. One is having a real sense of social justice. We're really passionate about helping others, and also we're fantastic at throwing a party, and Eurovision was perfect for that.
The fact that Liverpool was bidding for Eurovision was very important for local Ukrainians. They were cheering for Liverpool.
My particular vision for Eurovision was to make sure that everyone was inclusive, from old people's homes to kids in schools, and the team done a fantastic job of putting that in the bid and having lots of different programmes like Euro Streets and Euro Lane.
The whole excitement about we're going to put something on when the eyes of the world were going to be looking at us, and trying to ensure that everything was in place so that those people who came here, those people who watched, the millions who watched around the globe, would get a real flavour of what it's like to live in this wonderful place that we're so lucky enough to live in.
We were never the front runner, but we were steely in our approach to it, and I think that's what really worked.
But we had next to no time to do it. It took an extraordinary amount of effort, time, hours to produce what was, a hugely detailed piece of work in next to no time at all. You've got all those different component parts and different parties, whether they be UK government, the BBC, the city council, the city region, our Ukrainian partners. Genuinely felt like we were all one team moving in one direction and one goal.
I remember Claire, Robin and others coming into my office presenting this presentation of their thoughts and ideas of what they were going to do. And it was enormous. I thought to do this in 6 months is going to be a real challenge.
On the technical side, we had no doubts that the Liverpool or the UK can do this great event. So the question was for us only how Ukrainian this event can be.
So I've been quite scared that actually Ukraine will be not so highlighted and not so vivid because other country will host it, and it will be an addition rather than dominant part in a whole process of the hosting of Eurovision. But I'm glad that I was wrong.
I believe that it was done perfectly in a way that all Ukrainians felt at home. I remember when we had it in Kiev, in Ukraine. It was good location, everybody was happy. But this time what I saw in Liverpool, that the whole city was living through it, because music was everywhere, these Ukrainian pieces were everywhere, and so many other events were everywhere around the city.
So look, we took a huge amount of time to work out the balance. What's the balance between representing modern Ukraine, providing that platform, reflecting this extraordinary situation that the country was in, and also putting on an unbelievable party. And actually, initially when you look at those things, they're kind of polar opposites, right?
What I think is interesting about hosting on behalf of another country is Eurovision was originated 67 years ago after the Second World War to bring Europe together. And here we were 67 years later doing exactly that, bringing everybody together at a time when we really needed it.
Is just the feel-good boost that everybody needed. It's so wacky, it's so diverse, it's such a friendly competition of our differences as countries, but how we are the same as well, and how we are all enthused about Eurovision across Europe and beyond. I think it's a fantastic thing to celebrate diversity and to celebrate our togetherness, as well as just showcase the best of us.
I think there were two main factors that contributed to the success of the Eurovision Song Contest. The first was collaboration, and the other thing was trust. We had to trust each other that we were going to be able to deliver as we promised.
The only way that happened was through absolute partnership, teamwork, trust between those organisations and individuals working together. And you can ask any of the people that were part of that programme, and every single one of them will tell you it was one of the most extraordinary experiences of their career.
It's very characteristic of Liverpool that it's a yes city, right? And at no point, and I totally mean this, did we ever encounter any resistance or any slowdown. Everywhere we went, the answer was yes. How can we do it?
It's really odd in Liverpool. It's like everyone's in a box. It's all those people that help you, Merseyside Police, the Transport Authority, all of them are in a box. And then when something like this happens, you kind of open the box and they all pop out and they go, right, we're ready. And that is incredible. And that only happens in Liverpool.
There is a risk, of course there is, of, not being able to pull off quite what we wanted to. But you know what? The guys in Liverpool blew me away because they just did it all.
You listen to what anyone was saying who came to see the shows. They were just talking about Liverpool. They were talking about this city. They were talking about the welcome. This modern, vibrant, young, cool city, was what they were encountering that was incredibly welcoming.
Tens of thousands of people having a really, really joyous time, having an amazing, amazing experience and enjoying and seeing what it's like to live in Liverpool.
I think it's almost impossible to describe in words that give it enough credit.
So as a music city, as it continues to grow and expand and enrich as a music city, I hope it continues to celebrate all of the music that comes out of it. I think, just those glorious pictures going around the world of a strong, confident, fun city should pay dividends in visitorship.
Lots of what we did in Eurovision, which people felt was revolutionary, is something we've been doing for 10, 15 years, right? In terms of how we take a programme and spread it out across, a schools programme, an education programme, a community programme, bringing artists and communities together. That's something that we've done. And actually what it did for us, which is just fantastic, is it shone a giant global spotlight on it and said, wow, look how good this is. What we have shown, not just in the world of entertainment and music and all those things, but just generally as a major project, the eyes of the world on it, we've delivered something that has exceeded expectations.
I don't think Liverpool has to overdo legacy on this one. I think it did everything it needed to do by throwing itself into 2 glorious weeks in May.
If ever there was something that could be pointed at and said, whether or not it's about an investment, whether or not it's about, trying to attract new business to the city, whether or not it's about growing tourism, it's about being able to say, we did that, we can do this.
The people that it was my privilege to work with were professional to their core.
There simply aren't that many cities in the UK, let alone the world, who have that sort of unanimous positivity. It really was quite life-affirming.
I couldn't be more proud to have been in Liverpool. I think we chose absolutely the right city with the right people, and a local population who embraced it like you've never seen anything before.
The culture here is incredible. The people are just full of love. Everything about Liverpool encapsulates the spirit and the values of Eurovision. It couldn't have come to a better city in the UK.
Liverpool have done Ukraine proud. Amazing.